Okay. I can't believe we're here. Can't believe it's happening. We're at the end. The end of the road. The end of Call of the Netherdeep. How crazy. How crazy is that? 37 sessions, I think. 37. What a wild ride, huh? Hello, players.
And that's when I realized that it's not normal for humans to go that sounds.
Yeah, they're usually a lot longer.
Yeah, you should see a doctor about that.
I'm glad you learned that. I'm glad you found that out. It sounds important. All right. I checked because I was curious. It was at least when I uploaded the YouTube video, so it would have been a day or two, maybe a week before then. But either way, it was around the end of July in 2022. We started this journey, and we're here almost exactly 3 years to the day. Two whole children, 2 whole humans have been created later. It's been a time. And in 37 sessions, I believe, that's the episode number we're on, we are here. We're going to reach the end of our story today. Before we get into it, and we left off at a very, very tense moment, I have some quick announcements, and then also let if any of the players have announcements they can share with you. I just posted a little promo graphic that has the dates and times for all the special St. Jude streams that I promised that are coming this summer, the taste test, the cooking stream, split fiction playthrough, etc. So just check out any of my socials. It's the pinned post there. It's also pinned in my Discord if you're in there. Gonna be a lot of fun. So mark your calendars for those. Gonna be a good time. And then I know Briar also has something you should definitely announce / plug. I'm going to be participating in also in the month of August.
Yeah, so the last week of August and then the first 3 or 4 weeks, I guess it would be 4 weeks of September. I'm going to be doing a charity event for my mom, for a charity called Shatterproof, that helps folks who are struggling with addiction and their loved ones and stuff. And I'm gonna run and write a Daggerheart mini-series that's gonna be like a once-a-week thing. So yeah, that's over on my unofficial stream team's Twitch. It's Where the Heart Is, but no E in heart. So yeah, I have a link somewhere that I can send you, Laura, if you wanted to put it in the chat or whatever. But yeah, I'll put that in our group chat too.
Yeah. You should be able to put it in there, I think. If you're a VIP, you can put links. Who knows? I could be wrong. I'll check. Anyone else before we get into wrapping our story and seeing what ending we get that you want to share? Alrighty.
I'm sad that it's ending. It's gonna be bittersweet.
I mean, again, it doesn't even mean it's the last time we see these characters or play in this game. It's just the last time we tell this particular story. That's all it is. This story has an ending by the end of today. All right, well, then, and the music ended at what a perfect time. The playlist called Happy Peaceful Playlist. Time to turn that shit off, because we left off in the middle of heated combat, I do believe.
Yes, we did.
You were fighting, you'd made your way, you'd found the heart of Alyxian's prison, and seemed to have learned how he got here, and how his whole story seems to have been lost to time, and the story of the Apotheon is one known only to the gods, and now you guys. You reached him in his prison, you conversed with him briefly, and you were even, it seeming like, understanding where he was coming from. You were coming over to his side, and he seemed to be needing permission to leave this prison of his own making. He needed external validation before he could be free, and he was seeking that from you, and you were about to give it to him, but he was just so volatile and so emotional after being isolated for so long, and then having you appear in front of him, that he couldn't wait to hear the words of absolution that were going to come from your mouths, and attacked you instead. And you fought a rather monstrous, deformed version of him, which then became this much more angelic, seraphic version of him that you see in front of you now. And that is where we left off. And I do believe, thanks to the combat tracker, I can tell exactly where we left off. Well, the question is, so it's highlighted Fury. I should have checked. Does that mean we just finished Fury's turn, or we're starting with Fury? That is one thing I definitely should have checked. Screw it. I'm gonna say it's the start of your turn, because I think I would have hit next in the combat tracker. We're gonna say we're gonna kick off with Fury. So he is on one of these 3 islands in this like floating lake where you all can seemingly have the ability to walk on water. And as a reminder, because Orion told you, because checks, like, you can choose at any time to end that effect on yourself if you wanted to swim or submerge yourself in this lake, but you would lose the ability to walk on it afterward if you make that choice. So just a heads up.
Yes.
Yep.
So, would I still be raging? I'm assuming.
I would assume so. Again, I could have looked up all these
sure I was
things,
able
but I was
to-
busy writing epilogues, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I.
Because
have,
we write
like,
things ourselves here. We don't use AI, so.
Hell yeah.
I managed to be able to like at least get some damage in or get damaged every turn.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, he's actually somewhat close to me, it seems. So I'm gonna close that gap, I reckon. Wait, quick check. I have 30 feet movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Nice.
Look at that, you little bitch boy. I'm still big according to my token, so I'm
Yes,
currently going.
I would
through
assume
it
you still
down to
big.
might. So,
You're a big boy.
anyway, I start blasting.
I start
I just-
blasting.
Take out voltage, and with just like the sense of everything that has happened, the fact that like, you know, there's a lot of emotions in Fury, and he's not a big talker, which is also partially why he decided it was best for him to like step away from this and collect himself. But all of that progress that he made, out the window. There's just pure hatred and rage in his eyes, and he lets out this like blood-curdling scream as he just begins fucking wailing on this fucking deity. As I swang my weapon, and I want to activate my fire rune as well, which I believe is a free action. It's when I hit a creature, so I'll roll to hit first. First attack. Ugh. 15 to hit.
Misses. He is flying,
Honestly,
so
really
even though he
bad.
is very large, but you're also large, he uses his many wings to swiftly, quickly like fly up, dodge around your blade. He's been very nimble. He seemed to have a strategy of being very fast, very nimble, and flying from island to island, trying to keep just out of your reach while inflicting damage during this whole phase, and that pattern continues.
Second one is a dirty 20.
That hits.
Cool. So, because I'm big, I deal an extra d6 damage. Because I'm raging, I deal an extra 2 damage. And the fire rune is an extra 2d6. So I'm gonna be rolling all that. One-handed attack with the sword is 11 points. I'm just gonna give you it one by one. How about that?
Yep.
So 13 points of slashing damage because I'm raging.
Okay.
5 points of lightning damage because that's just the passive effect of the sword.
Okay.
Giant's Might is an extra d6 as well. Another 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then for the fire rune, as he's swinging, these two like fiery chains, like everyone has seen this before. It's like my go-to. These two fire chains kind of just like appear out of the ground, attempting to grasp him. So he takes another 5 points of fire damage.
Okay. As these chains come out of the ground, fire chains wrap around him. They grab his wings because he's been flying away. And you're like, I'm done with you, backing out. And as they wrap around his wings, he lets out a scream of searing pain. And you see them, it's almost like the wings start to ignite and they start to burn off of his body. Slowly the fire spreads, and his angelic form fails, striking the ground in a golden starburst. The gleaming feathers crumble to ash in the flames of your chains as Alyxian rises yet again. Before you, hunched over and weary, is an old, haggard man. His gray hair falls over his face in loose strands, and he snarls as he readies a spear and shield. Welcome to Phase 3!
The fuck?
LOL.
Oh god.
Any art? Do you have any art?
You do, and I forgot to throw it up in here. I'll hold it up for you.
Oh.
This is what you see in front of you. I'll put the art in above VTT as well, but this is what you see in front of you. So you get like old man,
I see.
like sun-browned, like bronze skin, gray hair that's kind of long, stooped over, has a shield, still has like a spark in his eyes. Looks like he knows how to use these weapons, but also looks like he has quite literally as being carried the weight of the world on. Like that hunch is not from age; it's just from carrying a burden heavier than you might even imagine.
Comparing that to the art of what he looked like before, I'd rather fight this. I'd rather fight this, you know? With the chains, he does need to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. He rolled a 19.
Yeah, he's fine. If he would have failed that, he would have been like restrained by then.
Okay.
That's not happening.
Cool. Well, the chains did seem to burn away the last of his. Let me add him to the combat tracker. I don't remember if I re-roll initiative or I kept it. I'm just gonna re-roll it. I don't know if I did it for the other ones. We're doing it now. And he rolled the same, so it doesn't fucking matter. He got the same thing. Okay.
But yeah,
cool.
like Fury is just pure, unfiltered, unbridled rage.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have anything else you're doing? That's your turn?
No, that's it.
All right.
Wasn't enough.
As he he's going to use a legendary action as this new form appears, and we'll say, where'd my pen go? As he shrugs off these chains. Yeah. As he shrugs off these chains, he looks at you, Fury, and says, "The world seems to have moved beyond me. I don't know if there is a place in it for a man as bitter as I." And he is going to do, and like hold out his hand, and then point like at the ground in between the two of you. And he seems to be doing like the look in his eye is he does have fight left in him, but you see it flicker for a moment. He's not sure if he does have that fight left in him. He's gonna point to the ground, and you see a burst of ruidium spike out of the ground. And you both need to make a charisma save as the shards of ruidium splash at you.
The man made of pure rage and depression is very charismatic.
Just himself. Himself in Fury.
Gotcha.
But he is going to then
Oh no, Fury.
Oh man.
Oh no. Ouch.
What'd you get?
Oh, no.
2? Okay.
No.
Oh, a what? Oh, yikes. Okay.
Oh,
well,
Don't
so
get it
Yikes.
Fury, in that, as the ruidium hits you, you suddenly, for a moment, it seems like you feel that weight that he was carrying, and you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Ooh.
And some familiar, it's hard to tell because of Fury's skin color. You wouldn't exactly see redness appear as Fury's red, but there are some parts of his skin that look a little more crystalline now. You also take 1 level of ruidium corruption. And as a reminder, what that means...
Uh-huh.
I was like, Colewood now. Level 1, I'm pretty sure. It's just the the red rash appears, and your like all negative emotions are heightened. So that like everything you're feeling before, fucking up it through the
So
damn
that's
roof.
what he's been feeling.
So nothing changes. Noted.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's
nothing changed.
there are signs of emotional corruption, amplified feelings of regret, yearning, rage, and despair.
So nothing changed.
Yeah.
Doesn't he get bonus damage on top of his regular rage damage now?
Yeah, maybe.
Right, yeah, because he's rage plus at this point.
Yeah.
Mentally, nothing changes. Physically, he starts like itching a scab that appeared in his neck or something.
Yeah. All right.
That pisses him off even more.
Yeah.
Like he can't even speak anymore. It's just guttural noises. And...
Yep.
Yeah.
That is your
Well,
turn
what are you
then.
doing before?
Enna, it is your turn.
Ina.
Okay. No. You've got never called. Let's see. How far away am I? 80 feet. I'm still
pretty far.
concentrating. I'm gonna drop. Yeah, I'm 80 feet away. 75 feet. Excuse me. But from
Yeah.
him, 90 feet. Oh lordy.
Yeah, this is a big map.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. I am going to drop concentration of the big fireball on the island, so the island is
Yeah.
no longer on fire. And through Bernie. Oh, gee. I'm trying to. Should I bring out Moonbeam? Is that a oh, that's another concentration. Sorry, one moment. Holding.
good, you
I'm
good.
seeing if I can cast it at higher levels. I'm pretty sure I can. You know what? 120 feet.
It's a lot of feet.
Okay, I could do that. I'm gonna cast. Oh, but I need to heal myself, so I need to cast a fire spell. I need to heal because any
Yep.
point is some point.
Mm.
I'm at 41.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sorry, y'all.
You're fine.
Don't
How
apologize,
big is
you
erupting
goober.
earth? Oh, what is it? Fire damage. What kind of damage has it done? The cube stone erupts. See, I would say that's lava, but it's not. Alright. You know what? Okay. I am going to cast Scorching Ray at 3rd level.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Boy, Gavalt. 11.
To hit. Does not hit.
Yep. Nope. Oh, that's 3, so I have to roll for each one.
Yes, you do.
17.
That hits.
Let's go.
Okay.
And I gets to kill a god.
I wish. That's 5 points of fire damage. I'm gonna roll the d8 so that I can try and heal myself because that was a fire spell.
Mhm.
I get 8 points of healing back.
There still should be a third one, right? That's you rolled like a 11 and a 7.
Yes,
17,
that's the
so
second one.
more.
I'm just choosing to do
Oh,
it
okay.
now
Gotcha.
because, like, if I don't make it on the
Gotcha.
third,
I see.
I'm just trying to, because I'm not rolling apparently great. It was a 20, and then it rolled to a 2.
I hate that.
Mother
Oh,
of
it's
pearl.
brutal.
So 11.
No,
I hate
misses.
that so much, so I don't hit it. So
Mhm.
good thing I took that. Let's see. Bonus action. Do I have any bonus actions that I want to do? Bernie is going to. I cast that. Let's see if because Bernie shares my initiative, but he goes right after me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do Fire Seed with him. See what happens. 12.
To hit?
Okay, I need different die.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
not
I'm
gonna
thinking
be
it's
Yeah.
time to put that in dice jet.
Yeah, I need to change my dice. Okay.
Would
I'm
you
gonna
like
move
to
closer.
borrow my dice trail? Here you go. Put it right in there.
Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom. Okay, I'm gonna try and do full movement. And that's it. That's my round.
Okay. Orion, you are next.
Okay. He is 100 feet away from me, but I have Blade Song up and I have Haste up,
Mm-hmm.
so I
Yeah.
have 70 feet of movement.
Nice.
zoomies.
Very much zoomies. And for my bonus action, I'll cast Misty Step to get behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And I'm flanking with Fury. I'm gonna stab the motherfucker in the back.
Do it.
Yay!
It's me. He's stabbing me in the back.
Huh?
So it's me. He's stabbing me.
Yeah. I'm flanking with what's his face? That is that is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Sneak attack.
Very sneaky.
That is 16 points. No. Yeah, 19 points. of
19?
damage.
Okay.
And does he have armor on in this form?
He has a shield, but he doesn't seem to be wearing, he has leather armor on, and he's carrying a shield.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter actually, because I'm flanking anyway, so I have advantage anyway on the attack. For shocking grasp. That is a 21 to hit.
Yep.
Monkeys.
That is. Ooh, that is a good roll. 18 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
So
And
Orion is
then-
overpowered. Got it.
Huh?
So
He
Orion
definitely
is
deals.
overpowered.
He
Got
definitely
it.
deals a lot of damage in these fights. He hits
Yep.
hard for a little guy.
And then for my extra attack from haste, I'll just stab him again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit yikes. That's yeah, that's 15 to hit, so I guess that misses.
That would hit, but he's gonna use his reaction to parry, and he's gonna parry one more blow with his shield.
What a bitch.
Oh,
Alright,
dingus.
that's my turn.
All right.
You fucking guy.
At the end of your turn, he's going to use his last legendary action for this round, and he's gonna pull out a dagger that you see has a sinister-looking, familiar red substance around the blade, and he is going to reach out and try and just like undercut, like in between your ribs, like slide it in there. That is a 28 to hit.
Is that against Orion?
Yes.
I would like to use a reaction.
Okay.
Use my runic shield.
Mm-hmm.
When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use a reaction to force the attacker to re-roll the 20 and force them to
Okay.
use the new roll.
Okay.
Nice.
It's definitely worse. That time it's a 21 to hit.
So much
I
worse.
use shield, so it misses.
Okay.
Let's go.
There we go.
Thank you.
So, just like
Otherwise I
these
would have
two
been
like
hit.
layers of shield on.
Yeah. All right. That is his legendary action. Promise, you are up.
Okay, hold on. Well, not hold on, but I need to look up a stat block.
What?
Because I have 2 mastiffs at my disposal that I've never used yet.
What?
So, all right. Well, first of all,
Got you
I'm
all.
going to Step of the Wind to close in by 90 feet. So I'll be 30 feet away by the time I've moved up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how these patches work as far as I know I need to use an action to do it, to use them, but how do they work as far as like, can I throw them to a destination and then they become the thing, or is it like I take them off of the robe and they're right next to me? Or
I don't know how it's
what?
written. I'm just thinking, like mechanically. Have you ever tried throwing like a small piece of fabric? Like it's not like it's gonna be like the and like kind of. I don't think it would get very far, but if it's written that you can because they're magical items, like I don't know.
It just says that you use an action to like take a patch off the robe, basically.
I feel like you would summon them like at your side. You take the patch off, and it like appears as you take it off. Either you're like throwing it down like a Pokeball in front of you or something, but it doesn't have the the range.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see, what is their movement? Oh, well, their movement is 40 feet, so that's perfect. So I will move 30 feet with Step of the Wind.
So there's 2 of them?
In my movement. And then, yeah, there will be 2 Mastiffs that appear at my side, and they will, of course, attack.
Well, your token's way the heck over here.
Yeah, I haven't moved yet. I got one hand, so.
Okay, here you go. I put the I'll put the Mastiffs wherever you move your token too, because even with Step of the Wind, you could get that far, because you are 110 feet, 115 feet away from him right now.
And with Step of the Wind, I can move 90 feet.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, then here you go. Here's the Mastiffs. There you go.
There. They should be about 30 feet from him, I think, because I think that was.
They're only 20 feet from him and 25 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll go attack. You know, I assume.
Cool. Do they just each make a bite attack? Oh, I think Briar has to mute because Nerdlet has thoughts. I'm gonna assume they're each just making. They have a bite attack.
Yeah, they'll just do.
Okay.
Wait, can you not hear me?
I couldn't before. Now I can. Oh, but then it's paused again.
Medium.
Oh, there we go.
They get. If the target is medium, is he medium right now? Is he like just a normal size?
He is a medium humanoid right now.
So then it just says if the target is a medium or smaller creature, it has the prone condition.
Like if he hits, they would knock prone. Yeah. If it hits.
Yeah. Okay, I will roll for the puppies.
Yeah, it's a +3 to their roll.
That was absolute garbage. They rolled a 6 and a 7.
Nope. Sorry.
But they're there now, harrying him.
They're there now, nipping at the heels, you know. Anything else on your turn?
That was all of my stuff, so.
Okay, we're now at where three things have the same initiative. I'll make him and the lair action go at the same time, and then Cole can go afterward. Alright, so he tried to stab Orion with the dagger. Orion is clearly speedy as heck, nimble, small, whereas Fury is just, like, much bigger looking target in front of him. And he's like, screw it, it didn't work before. He's gonna try and, stab Fury with his dagger.
Oh no.
That is a 16 to hit. He misses! Okay. And now it is lair action time. I also should have checked which island went off first, or went off last round when I checked the VOD, because I can't do the same one technically twice in a row. But, I mean, we're not going to do the one you're standing on, I don't think. So I don't think that works.
I think he was on the top one last time.
It was on the top one.
You can also remove the
Oh, remove this?
the fire, the flame sphere. So that, it's not there. I dropped concentration of that.
Yep.
Does the combat tracker also show how many rounds of combat we've had?
Yeah, we're on round 5 right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that one. So you're on the Avandra Island right now. And it goes Coralon, Sehanine, Avandra. Okay. So that means Coralon went last time, top island, if we're remembering correctly.
Yes.
So we can either do...
Yes, because he retreated that island to this one.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we can either do Avandra or Sehanine. We'll go ahead and do the Sehanine one. Promise. since you've moved up closer. So the southernmost
Hello.
island is gonna glow, and a watery doppelganger of yourself rises up out of the lake in front of you and is going to take a swing at you.
This shit again.
That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, just a little.
All right, you take
Ah.
9 points of bludgeoning damage before it
Nice.
sinks back down into the lake. And he is going to, at the end of his turn, because he's surrounded, use a legendary action to, he can move his movement without provoking opportunity attacks.
Rude.
What a bitch.
So, yeah.
That's rude. Very
Warrior's
rude.
Stride.
Sounds like he's a pussy.
I just flick him off. Just
I mean,
flick him off as he
he's slow,
disappears.
Right? Slow, right?
He can only
He's
move
no
30
man.
feet. That's as far as he goes.
If
you
he's
know?
a battled warrior, right?
Yeah. All right, Cole, it is your turn.
My turn. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Get him.
Wow.
Get him.
I'm gonna go
You.
to 30 feet of movement to there. I'm gonna wiggle my fingers in the air and make a spiritual weapon appear right next to him
Okay.
with a bonus action.
Would you say spirit fingers?
Spirit fingers. And it's gonna hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope.
Gonna hit him. I guess, what does it get? A plus 9? 9. Yeah, plus 9. That's a natural 20, baby.
Damn.
Oh,
For a total of
Alrighty.
29.
Yep, hits. Hits for sure.
Does anything really cool happen when I crit? I can't remember.
Other than the
No.
the way we do dicey dice.
No, yeah, I was just looking for a cleric thing that I had, but it's not that. So, oh. No. Okay, no, cool. He just takes 3d8 plus 4.
So that's automatically
Let's-
24 on top of whatever
Mhm.
you're gonna roll.
And then 3 more d8, so I'll roll all these. threes.
wow.
Damn.
That's an 8, a 7, and a 4.
Very good. Very good.
So
8,
15.
15, 19, 20,
16?
23.
19. Damn.
19
Yep,
plus
so
the 24.
plus, that's 23 plus the 24, because it's
Okay.
3d8 plus
Okay.
4.
47 points of damage.
Ouchie.
Where's my phone?
Owie.
My brain's having a moment. I need a calculator to make sure I don't fuck up. Okay, there we go.
Holy guacamole.
He's definitely beyond
That's
bloodied as this weapon lays into him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And then
He's
uh,
that was a
Shim.
spicy meatball.
I need a dex save from this old fart
Oh, okay, okay.
as I use my other hand to make other fingers.
He
The middle
rolled a
The
7,
middle.
but he's gonna use his last legendary resistance.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking gonna, isn't he, Laura? Is he? Is he gonna fucking do that?
It's his last
Huh?
one! They're all gone!
God.
You're such a bitch! No, that's fine. I
Don't
did
act on
a
it.
million
Don't
worth of
act on
damage to him. I'm fine.
Yeah, you got to crit. You're good.
Fine. The what is it called that I did? Sacred Flame missed.
Yeah.
I misjudged it because I was cocky.
hmm Anything else on your turn?
Just hold my shield up in front of me.
Okay. Since that hit hard at the end of your turn. It's everyone a 10-foot radius sphere. Let's AoE this shit.
Uh-oh.
10 circle. So.
Okay. Well, I don't like that I'm in there.
Well, I was just
I
saying,
don't like that
I'm
place.
measuring distance. Let's see. Let's do this. Like, get this fog people. Okay, so
Fuck
he's
me, I
gonna do Is he though? Oh, it takes.
Is he though?
It takes 2.
You should just give up.
I don't.
accept his fate.
Excuse me,
Is he, though? Is
Sensei,
he?
because I'm going to have to go all out just this once.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. Okay, he's gonna do the same thing that Fury saw, where again, like, throw another shard of iridium, and spikes jut up from the ground, but this time Orion, both the Mastiffs and Fury are caught in there, so
The stakes have never been higher. It's either him or us.
you
Don't
need
hold back.
Orion and Fury charisma saves, please.
Oh, dude, I rolled a nat 1 last time, guys, so it's
Yep.
only up.
Does this
Do the dogs make saves?
Yes!
a magic? Does this count as a magic something?
I would say
Magical
so.
effect?
Yes.
Awesome, then I have advantage.
Their charisma saves are -2, and they both rolled a 2 on the die.
All right.
Wah, wah.
Well, both of the dogs gain a
Wah,
level of
wah.
exhaustion and also sprout red crystalline rashes on their body.
Oh gosh!
Bro,
Mine
I would've
17.
15.
Oh, the puppies.
Okay, 15 for Fury,
Like
for
Meridian
Orion.
Hellhounds.
17 for me.
Okay,
Nice.
both of you, Orion, also familiar rashes appear now on Orion's
Damn.
skin. So Orion's at 1 level exhaustion. Fury, you're at 2 levels of exhaustion. And now Fury, on top of the rashes, this time you see the veins under Fury's skin start to pulse. And now you look like a vampire from Vampire Diaries with, like, the veins visible under your skin. And you have never, even when all you're raging, and every time you thought you've hit, like, what your maximum rage threshold is, oh boy, you have not. You have felt nothing like this. It is borderline, like, you almost feel like you should be able to actually spontaneously combust from the sheer amount of malevolence and rage and like, negativity in your body right now.
Good.
No,
It's like in the 3rd episode of an arc
great-
from
great
Dragon
bit.
Ball Z where he's just flexing and screaming the whole episode. And
Yeah.
we're at episode 3 of that now. Ah,
Yeah.
That also means that your speed is now half because of 2 levels of exhaustion as well.
Yeah, but guess
Yep.
what? He's exactly 15 feet away from me, which
He
is exactly
is.
half my speed.
And it's
So
Fury's
he's still within-
turn!
He's still within cum shot range. Don't worry, I fucking got him.
It's Fury's turn!
Dude.
Unleash the
Fucking just
You're living up to your namesake
Baywatch
right
running,
now.
'cause I'm slow as fuck. So I'm like Baywatch running, right? Because I'm slow.
On
as
the
fuck, so
water,
it looks
too.
very, like-
I'll be
On the water
ready.
too.
And dude, I mean, veins in the neck fucking bulging. Somehow, even though, like, you know, he's grown in size, like, even still, just like uncontrollably, all muscles in his body are just like fully tensed up. You can see like drool just dripping out of his mouth, just running down his face, as there's like almost to the point of like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
As he just, without question, without any feeling besides pure hatred, is going to just fucking unleash, methinks. We all-
Alright, and are you making
all
attacks at
can do.
disadvantage at level 2 exhaustion or not yet? I don't remember
No,
off the top of
ma'am.
my head. Nice!
That's
Has to
level
be
3.
Level 2.
That's level 3, okay.
So I still roll as normal. Bam. First attack. Ooh, cringe. 16?
He's gonna use his reaction to parry the first one. So he deflects your blow. Like, it looks like it's gonna hit, but then he gets his shield up in the nick of time and catches it on his shield.
Okay. Alright, well, I go again.
Yep. Again!
17.
That hits.
Sweet. Okay, hold on. Math. 8 points of slashing,
Okay.
Yeah.
plus... 6 points of lightning,
Okay.
plus...
14.
5 points of slashing.
Mm-hmm.
plus-
19.
no,
19.
That's it. That's it.
Cool. Definitely hits, and he definitely looks, you would think he'd look terrified, because you are, even your friends right now, like, those who know you the best are probably a little bit terrified of you right now with how feral you look in this moment.
You know,
But
it's
he looks
something no one has ever
almost,
seen.
almost eager for what you're doing. Like, almost like he deflected. It seems like when he deflected, when he parried that blow, it was almost like muscle memory. You could tell it was almost like he didn't even consciously choose. It's just so ingrained from decades of fighting during the Calamity, like the most battle-ridden, intense time of conflict Exandria has ever seen, right? It wasn't even a choice for him to react that way, and he looks like this moment that he is both relishing the opponent of your strength, but also maybe ready for the end. Maybe ready for some peace, even if it's at the end of a blade. If that is your turn,
on his way out. At
I
this
just realized I have this thing where
Hey, that's one way to go.
Right.
I have one get out of jail free card where I can re-roll a failed saving throw. That's would have been good information to know. Levels of corruption.
well, I mean, you also have a party member that has a thing that can help you all do that, but I don't know if he's close enough. But
yeah, but I just have one of those like built
Yeah,
in. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
get to re-roll one failed save for free once
Yep.
a day.
all right,
But I forgot that I have that, so fuck
Oh
it.
yeah,
That's
I
my turn.
have that.
yeah, don't forget. Anna, you're back up on board here.
Oh, I totally could've done
Seeing Fury just enrage and
Embody
lose
his
himself.
namesake in every way.
Yeah, exactly. And it has a moment of just like self-reflection of just like, have I been holding back? Have I not embraced that anger myself? Like she's trying to learn from
Spicy.
Fury in this moment of just like, she just like that anger just builds in her. Because like she doesn't want to lose more friends. Like that, she's been haunted by that, right? And I'm sure Fury is haunted by that as well. So I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby.
And like her eyes, like yes, it's radiant, but like you can just like if you were to see her, she just has like fire in her eyes because she's just so angry.
This
and
is
she
to
just wants
represent the
it to end.
moonbeam, because I know you can move it and position it, so I'll move this circle around for
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
need to move it around and stuff.
Yeah, because I can move it on
On your
each of
turn,
my
yeah.
turns.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs to pass a con 17.
Okay.
Oh, please fail, because that's gonna be fucking insane damage.
That is a 25.
Mother of pearl. All right, on a successful one, he still takes 2d10 radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my d10.
Does that get more if you upcast it?
What was that?
Because you upcast it, does the damage
Upcast
go
it.
up?
Yeah,
fifth
yeah.
level, right?
If it was successful, like if he
Ah.
didn't pass it, I would have done 5d10. But on a failed, I only do half damage.
Yeah, so
It's still 5d10,
So it's
but it's half of
5d10.
those 5.
Half of what you roll.
Yeah. So you still roll the 5d10,
Yeah, it says
you
it's-
just cut in half the number you roll gets cut in half.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you still roll the
So
5
Yep,
dice.
still roll all 5, yep.
9, 9
Nine.
and 8, 17.
Mm-hmm.
24,
Mm-hmm.
26.
26
Okay,
halved
so-
to 13.
13.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe units?
Anything else on your turn?
Sorry for misreading that. I'm
No,
sorry
you
about
good,
that.
you good.
I
As
am
the
going-
radiant light hits him, he looks up, and for a minute he looks almost like confused, almost like, and his eyes blur, almost like the age that shows on his body starts to show behind his eyes, and he looks to the sky, and he says, "Moonweaver, is that you?
Yeah.
Have you returned?" And he looks a bit
Oh, boy.
confused for a minute. That the radiant glow seems to have brought him back to a previous memory
Sorry,
for a
motherfucker,
minute.
You knocked at the wrong door. Plus, I'm pretty sure with Moonbeam, when he starts his turn in it, he takes damage again.
Yep.
I think that's how that works.
No, on each of your turns, you can at the start of it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
when it's his
when the creature
turn,
enters the spell area for his first time. Yeah.
Yeah, on the turn.
Yep.
So that's not his turn. He just takes damage again completely for free, which is
Yep.
awesome.
I'm gonna move 30 feet closer because I want to be in range of folks. Let's move there. Oop. Why is my computer lagging? All right there.
Pseudo lag.
Up. I moved and bonus actions. I'm gonna have Bernie cast Flame Seed.
Mhm.
Unnatural 20.
What's the
Scared
range on
or-
Flame Seed?
Oh, let's see. Is he within range?
Because he's
Oh,
45.
we're-
Bernie is 45 feet from him right now.
It's 60 feet.
Okay, you're good.
Nice.
What he
Let me put
rolled to
myself back.
hit?
Unnatural 20.
Oh, yeah, that hits. Yeah, right.
So he takes 1d6 plus 3 or plus 4, 7 points of fire
Okay.
damage.
Cool. In that case, it's now Orion's turn.
Right. Well, after getting hit by that shard, rage, like, boils up. Seeing Fury rage makes it even worse. Seeing Anna pull out Moonbeam, knowing that.
Because you guys haven't seen her
Sure.
catch that.
Yeah, like she's not normally doing that. Like she's pulling out all the stops.
And you could
So,
feel the power in that spell compared to her other spells.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move behind him, very angry myself,
We're all going
and
sick
guess
mode.
what? Stab him. That is a dirty 20.
Yep.
It's the sneak attack.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Finish him.
Kill him
Let's
dead.
roll. That
Mhm.
is 12 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Second attack, shock and grasp. 22 to hit.
Yep.
That is 16 points of thunder or lightning damage.
How do you want to do this?
Go!
As he parries Fury's attack, his shield is out of the way. It's being hit by the moonbeam. I don't care about the moonbeam being right there. I'm just full of rage. I'll shock him first, putting him on his knees. A jump on his back, fully embracing the moonbeam myself as well.
Shit.
Have my hand right before him, summon a blade, and just yoink it back.
Nice. As the blade makes contact, he lets out a long, rattling sigh, and mouth perks up in the tiniest hint of a smile as ichor, rather than blood, starts to trickle from the wounds that you've all left. He coughs, and suddenly a gout of it, like that ichorous fluid, just spurts from his mouth, and then you see iridium veins, kind of like furies, start to creep up his neck as his smile widens. And then he drops to his knees, reduced to a shriveled, gaunt figure, lets out a final noise that is somewhere between a whimper and a sigh of relief that just has such a human noise to it. Like, in that moment, even though this did not go the way you were hoping, in that moment you still, like, almost like his whole story flashes across your eyes, and you still can't help but feel a little bit of empathy for him in this moment.
I feel bad for him.
And as he starts to sink into the water of the lake, he says, "I've been so cold and so alone." And as he says that, he sinks completely under the water. And then you all start to feel that similar feeling you felt when you crossed the barrier into this chamber, the Heart of Despair, and all your forms start to become like less corporeal, translucent, and you are all teleported back to the Netherdeep. You're all back here in like the the main middle room here, the room where his prison used to be. But before, where this place was covered in rubidium, as you get back here, you see that like rubidium structure he was trapped in is starting to crack. And the cracks spread further, and it starts to crumble. And as it crumbles, all of you that have rubidium exhaustion, your rashes are starting to fade. The veins are retreating from Fury's neck. And you all of a sudden feel, whether it's from completing a hard-fought battle, completing your objective, or just this substance leaving your body, you all suddenly feel so much lighter. And so much of that, whether it was rage, regret, fear, whatever the dominant emotion was that was heightened in that moment, is slowly subsiding. But you only have mere moments to enjoy that and relish in that victory before suddenly all the walls start to shake. And it almost looks like the water, the temperature of the water is starting to rise. And everyone make a perception or arcana check, your choice for me. And those of you who had exhaustion, your exhaustion's gone. It has left along with the rubidium. Yep.
Arcana for me.
Nat 20.
Perception for me.
Go.
Natural
12.
19 on the Arcana.
'Kay.
19 Arcana as well.
12
19.
perception.
19 perception.
All right. Everyone, whether it's from looking at your environment and watching things start to crumble, watching the water or feeling the water temperature start to rise, or those of you that made it through the Arcana, it's just your understanding of, as you've traveled this like new pocket dimension and realized it was completely connected to him. He was the source sustaining this place, and he is now gone. The Netherdeep is beginning to crumble, maybe entirely out of existence. You feel like you have limited time to get out of here.
Wait. So I was checking
Don't we
my
have a scroll?
inventory. I was checking my inventory the last time we played, and I'm pretty sure there's something in my inventory still that we never used and I never gave to people. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I still have a teleport tablet to the consortium in my bag. That we got from like way back when we fought those fuckers in whatever place we were.
Was that in the fuck you fort?
The fuck you fort would be where you got that. Yep.
That was the fucking fort, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that because we never ended up using it.
Did we not use that to get to?
There were two, and you definitely used one. But I don't know if you might have used.
We definitely used one of them.
Aloysius or Aloysius. I don't remember how you said her name. You might have used hers, and there was a spare because there were definitely two tablets. So if it's in your inventory, you might have pocketed one.
Yeah. So I still have
Great
that.
call.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
let's get the hell out of here.
yeah, you can do that. And you also know their
Otherwise, we have
headquarters.
an
You
exit
also know their
sequence.
headquarters are vacant because you went in there and fought some people and like they cleared out because you kind of fucked up their whole operation. So you know their old headquarters are probably unpopulated at this
I'll
moment.
just- basically, like, because of all the like excess rage is leaving my body, Fury just has this like moment of clarity. And I forget exactly how these things work, but I'll just shout for everyone to like grab a hold of me in some way. Fucking use the tablet, man. Fuck it.
Yep.
I bear hug
Gets
him.
us the fuck.
I grab him. I hug him.
All right, as
If
you
the dogs are still there, I scoop them up.
nah, the dogs are there. They're not there.
Okay.
Um,
Save the
Bernie's
puppies.
gone, so it's fine.
As Fury, everyone gathers close to Fury and he smashes his tablet. You all close your eyes and you feel that moment of just super uncomfortable, almost like being on a roller coaster, that nausea of being
Oh, I
pulled
hate it.
through time and space. And you immediately feel, for the first time, you didn't realize how acclimated you got to breathing water, that you're breathing this hot, dry desert air that for a minute you all, before you open your eyes, kind of like cough a little bit because you're like, oh God, like your lungs are reacclimating to, oh yeah, we were made to breathe oxygen. Also, it's very warm.
Puking water.
Yeah, and you spit some water up.
Anna barfs.
Yeah. And as you open your eyes,
Little fucking Geralt's, I hate portals.
yeah, you
Yep.
see a
Yep.
brilliant
Anna
blue
definitely
sky, and you are standing on a rooftop overlooking a bazaar. You can see a teleportation circle, a glow fading, and you know this is the rooftop of the tavern that was the former headquarters of the consortium of the Vermilion Dream. It's in the
Ours
When you are
Suncut.
safe, Fury fucking collapses.
Hold on. It's in the Suncut Bazaar. Which district is that in? I need to go all the way back to my map of Unkurel. Where is that?
Sorry.
That's here. Okay. Yeah, you're far away. So for reference, I can put it on here, actually. Hold on. We can go all the way back to chapter 4. Okay. On this map of Unkurel, where you've been teleported to. So for reference, where you were, I'm gonna see this like kind of gaping hole in the Sigil district.
Yeah.
That was the hole that went down to Kael Morro and down to the dig site. You are now in this district all the way to the west, the Suncut Bazaar. So you're in Unkurel, but you're on the western side of the city, just to place you in space.
Is that the one that I destroyed with erupting earth?
Is that where the
I don't
ivory
even
elephant
know.
or the elephant thing is?
I mean, it was somewhere in
Yeah.
that district, but you're not
Okay.
necessarily there right now. Like, this building
Okay,
wasn't part of
okay.
that, but yes, that happened in this
So we got our
district of the
copies.
city. Yes.
As we get out now, at that point my haste probably fades as well, so I also kind of collapse at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, like Fury will like look at everyone, kind of like, well, I'm glad you're all alive. But just like,
Anna goes and like puts a shoulder under him and like helps carry him, helps him walk.
Anna and Cole have to help carry Fury, and I feel like
Yeah.
Promise can get Orion on her own, because Promise buff, Orion's small.
It's not good.
A couple minutes into the like me being like dragged by two people, suddenly you hear the like Super Mario shrinking effect and like go back to my normal size.
It's not very much, but Promise will give everyone, including herself, 6 points from lay on hands.
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
For Fury, it's definitely more
Yeah,
of like
I
just like
mean-
a mental, like he's mentally like, you know, like, barely able to
Yeah.
Orion gets
think.
back up fairly fast because, like, what's it called? The thingy from haste is only like 1 round, pretty much.
Yeah.
Kick,
So
kick, hacking.
he's pretty tired from the whole thing.
Yep. Fair. Where are you headed? Where's your destination now that you're back topside?
The Cobalt Soul, yeah, where we were staying.
I
Yeah, we have
figured, but
clarifying
just checking,
question.
you know.
Question,
As you
yeah.
get to the
question.
Cobalt Soul, you see the closer you get, there is a flurry of activity around that building. And you see lots of blue robes going back and forth between, because Cobalt Soul, I believe, is also in the, are they in Sigil District or Guided District? Hold up. It's been so long since I've been back to this city. Give me a minute. They're in the Guided District. Okay. So, actually, yeah, you will go through the Sigil District to get to them. As you, sorry, so they're not the flurry of activity. As you go around, like, the proximity where the dig site was, you just see all sorts of people are, like, craning to, like, look down in the hole, and there's just, like, people are whispering excitedly, people are running all over the place. Everyone make a perception check with disadvantage in the hustle and bustle city to see if you overhear anything anyone's talking about or can tell what's going
Just a
on.
9.
Okay.
12.
15.
I think
11.
Fury's too busy thinking about
Yeah,
putting
okay.
one foot in front of his other. So
Yeah, Cole is keeping an ear out as you walk over there, and Cole hears some of the voices you overhear of the people that are being just like very excited. People are mentioning that there was, like, it seems like some seismic activity a few minutes ago, like from near the dig site. There was some rumblies happening in the ground, and they're wondering what that was, and that's why people are eagerly going over to see, like, oh, something happening down there. And you also hear 1 or 2 people, like, you see people running, like, through the city trying to go, like, visit others, hearing people celebrating. It seems that there's a lot of people that were very sick across the city, and there's a lot of very rapidly cured illness that it seems to have happened in the last, like, 15 minutes or so. And people are talking about the red rash, and the red rash is gone, and things like that.
Maggie will hopefully feel
happened-
better
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yes?
Oh yeah.
What happened to
Maggie.
the ruidium equipment that we had?
Oh yeah, if you all look at your ruidium equipment, any of the red crystalline traces of it are now gone. Those of you who had ruidium weapons, they're now just +2 weapons. And Cole, I think, had a shield, or whoever had a shield, it's a +2
Yeah,
shield or something like that now. They're The iridium's gone. They just seem to be slightly more nondescript looking, but still feel magical. Like the essence
Okay.
or the traces
Do
of
they
it is
lose
left.
all the other cool abilities they had?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
The hell? Why did my music just stop out of nowhere?
What the hell?
Buffering? Whatever, tabletop audio. Fine, be like that. It's fine.
I like to think that I'm paying more attention, like around as we're going, because I'm looking for a question.
Yep. As you get to the Cobalt Soul, you don't even like you've barely opened the doors, and someone, and you're pretty sure it's her, and after a minute you realize it's her, 'cause who else would, but someone just like flings himself at you, envelops you in like the tightest hug, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're back. And you get the sense that it was maybe waiting there for your return.
Oh,
Cole, can you roll a d6 for me, please?
You know I can. Let's roll this one. I got 5.
Okay. So as she releases you from the hug, she takes a minute to like assess the party. And also only person she gives a hug, she gives Promise a hug too. And make sure you look okay. It sees how rough, especially Fury and Orion, but everyone looks like pretty haggard. Says, oh my gosh, I really want you to tell me everything, but I think you probably should rest first. I know it can wait. Here, your rooms are all ready. There's some food, there's some drinks in there. I wasn't sure what you'd want when you got back, so I tried to there's just lots of stuff.
About how much she ups.
Yeah, she does yap a lot, doesn't she?
yeah.
I
she
just
does.
told her.
Promise
Right.
looks at Orion like, really?
Yeah. She's like, I've known you for like 2 days, and I'm even Promise is like, really?
Really, dude? You're gonna say that? Really?
I'll just hit her with a. It's good to see you again, and I'll just fucking to the rooms and.
Get to the rooms, and there's a few different beverages in like glass carafes that are being chilled on ice. Like there's water, there's some juices, there's also some iced, like something that looks like maybe like ale or some like a cold beer. There's also some wine, some other things as well, and then there's just some fruit, some cheeses, some baked goods. Like there's just also some snacks lying around, whatever you might need. There are also 5 mid-tier, greater healing potions? My brain is working for a minute. There's 5 greater healing potions in a basket. Yeah, that one.
Each of us get 5 greater healing?
No, there's 5 total.
Oh,
Nice try,
I
man.
tried, man. Let's just.
And that's 44?
I believe so. Yeah, 44 plus 4.
That.
Ye.
Cole and Enna have the highest passive perception. While you're quickly drinking and taking a look around, you notice there's a calendar on the wall with like the days crossed off. You're in Cole's room, we'll say, and like maybe so you're thinking question, maybe he was counting the days. You've been gone for 5 weeks
Oh my god.
since you went into
Oh, Lord.
the Netherdeep.
What?
If this calendar's correct.
Is that?
Oh, Promise.
Shh, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. 5 weeks.
5.
What?
I hate that.
Well, good thing Neri didn't go and have Nessa waiting for her.
Neri did go, and now
Yeah, Neri went down
she
there.
did go.
Well, Neri never made it to the Netherdeep. Neri just made it to Kilmoro.
Yeah.
Alright, so are you doing like short rest, or are you all like being like, no, I need to pass the fuck out? Are we like long resting here?
I need-
long
I need a long rest.
Okay. So yeah, even though it's the middle of the day, you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm exhausted. We've just been through it. Yeah, so you're all gonna go to your individual apartments. And
I mean, sure, they are.
yeah, take a nice long rest.
I can't remember. Was there like at the Cobalt Soul? Was there some place that I could go to summon Fred?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, then I would do that first before actually like going to my room.
Fred's back.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you can all take a long rest. I mean, technically, because if we bring these characters back, I mean, you would also level up during that long rest.
What I'll do,
Doing it.
and I'm
Doing
sorry
it.
if this is like, I'm sorry if I'm steering away from the plans. But
Nah,
what
nah,
I'll do
nah.
is like, after the initial like couple hours nap, Fury is going to head down to poll/questions/questions room, depending on where they are,
Yeah.
and hit it with a little.
I'm out. I'm asleep.
Oh, sure you are.
Question as you knock, you'll see like question peek around the door. Definitely less than fully dressed. Like she's thrown on a robe, but like she was either in pajamas or something else. Yeah, I'm surprised you're awake. And she's whispering because Cole's sleeping. He's like, I thought you'd be sleeping the longest. You looked like you had a rough time in there.
Oh, I'm going to, but what happened? I'm sure. I disappeared. I came back.
Yeah, I
and
didn't want to pry. I felt it was pretty personal, but
it was. But let's just say that now that all the danger is out the way, I got hit with some other things, and I feel like if I don't talk about them now, I might never, because I'm really good at burying that shit, you know. So I
oh,
figured
that's a big deal, Fury. I'm so proud of you. That's a lot of personal growth.
Don't say that.
What it is.
So, as much as this might piss him off, I'm going to wake him up. Like, I'm looking at Cole.
Barges in.
No, she's like,
I'm just shirtless and snoring.
She's like, give 1 minute, and goes in, and you just hear some rustling, and she just wants to make sure Cole has something to throw on somewhere, or can appear in whatever state of dress or undress you would like to be in.
We've
All
measured penises back in the day. It's fine. It's nothing I've not seen on this man. No. I'm yapping. Whenever question like deems Cole clothed enough to speak to like be spoken to, I'll approach Cole, and I don't really ask. I just kind of sit down on the bed. You know, I'm just kind of like sit myself down. It's kind of like, hey, man,
buddy.
So how have things been? Away.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, I figured. Listen, I don't really do this talking thing, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
Leaving you all was a completely selfish decision. I see that, and I accepted that. At that point, I felt like I did not have another choice. And I'm not going to pray or beg for forgiveness, because at that point in time, it seemed like the only thing I could do, and I went with my guts. And do I regret it? Only partially. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm here to beg for forgiveness. But that said, I do feel very shitty about abandoning everyone, but, well, mainly you. And I know that me coming back and none of you dying, at least you're all safe and this is now over, but I don't know. I totally understand if you think I'm like some big asshole and you never want to talk to me again. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. But there's... I just put my hand on his shoulder, like, squeezing, like bros, You have nothing to worry about. You did what you had to do. And in the end, you came back. You were the difference.
Oh.
He'll look at you, and you can see that like the mask kind of slips, and 'cause Fury doesn't really do emotions
You don't
except
say.
for anger or less
They're
anger.
icky.
But you can see the mask kind of slip and just kind of just really wish that what happened didn't happen, you know?
Yeah, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Just fucking sucks.
You're here now.
And then Neri, and just feel like I keep going back to that moment and thinking like, oh, what if I did this? Would things have been different?
You can't do that to yourself, because believe it or not, you're not the only one in control of everything around you.
Oh, well, I
And
wish I
neither am
was, 'cause it
I.
would make things a lot easier.
Would make things a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
But it's okay, because that's how the world works. We're all just here for the ride as long as we can be, and we do what we can in the moment.
Yeah, but isn't that stupid?
Think about it. All of this stuff is kind of stupid. We're not in control of any of that. Like, we like to think we're in control, but there's so many things happening all at once that to think you have control over anything other than yourself is folly.
That's a lot of big words. But I think I know what you mean.
I'll tell you what. Let me get dressed. We'll go out back and do a little sparring.
Oh,
Aw.
I thought you'd never ask.
After what just happened? For
Such
real?
bros.
Listen, man,
Look.
Storm Bros always got time for a bout.
We always got time to worship.
As he'll get up, so he'll just like look at Cole and look at Question. So I'm not uninvited from the wedding.
I look at Question with wide eyes, like,
Her eyes also go really wide.
I
I mean, and
Alright.
no, I mean, that's really fast. That seems really fast. I'm
Fury just like starts laughing and just leaves the room and just waits for Cole to walk. He's like just laughing, he's like. And then do a little spar, and then I'm Orion's next. Sorry, bud. I'll also like on Orion's door.
I mean, it kind of depends. Like, how long is this after we split up to our separate rooms?
This will be like 3 hours later.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that'll
it'll be in the
probably-
middle of your rest. You'll still
Yeah,
get a
that's
long
fine.
rest. Like this won't affect it. He's just waking you
No,
up in
no,
the
I
middle
know.
of it for a bit.
I know.
Yeah, it was a
just thinking
half-ass
if it
spar. I
was-
just want to clarify. It was
No, but I was thinking if it was like
ceremonial.
half an hour later after we split up, then I would probably still be awake because I went to summon. Fred
No, this
first.
because like Fury fell asleep for a couple hours, woke up and
Right,
got hit by
okay.
a wave of like guilt, and he needs to.
He's like, I need
What
to
What is
deal
this
with
feeling?
this.
No, okay, no, I would. It would take a second to wake up, but I would get to the door and be like, "Hi, what's up?
Hey, little guy.
Hello?
You up?
You
Now
up?
I am, yeah.
Text.
That's great.
You
I'll just
up?
kind of like
What you doing?
push past him, like enter his room.
No, okay, hi, come in.
Hey, so just wanted to say that I'm happy you're not dead, and I'm sorry for leaving. And if you think I'm like a total douchebag for leaving, then that is totally fair. I accept that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're a total douchebag. Like, stuff happens.
don't?
Like, no, I mean,
Sounds
in the
stupid.
moment it was a bit
Should.
rough, you know. But like, I kind of got it, I guess. But like, I don't know. It's fine. In the end, you were there, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have this feeling of like I don't know. I woke up and I felt really bad, And I was like, well, yeah, it makes sense. We just fought a god. Of course I feel bad. But then I was like, wait, no, this is not the usual feel bad after a fight feel bad. This is more of a I feel bad, but it's like in the back of my head feels bad. And I don't really understand what's going on. But I've been doing a lot of thinking, and man, it's been a lot of thinking. And trust me when I say I don't think very often. So this is new to me, and I just wanted to
Right.
talk about it because I feel like if I don't do it now, then I'll never will, and then I just get angry, and you know. So I think what I want to say is I'm sorry and I regret abandoning you and the others. You are my family, and I fucked up.
Oh, that's really nice. I don't feel like you abandoned us. Like I said, you were there, and we finished what we started together, and yeah. Fred's also happy that you're back.
I'll give Fred a little like scratch, a little like under the chin, like.
Yeah.
And I'll
And also,
kind of just like
Fred is now like a ferret again, or like a weasel again.
Yeah.
Not
nice.
the other
And
form.
I'll just kind of like, okay, well, I just wanted to say that you killed a god. That's pretty cool, huh?
I guess I did. Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't really think about that yet.
God,
Really.
well,
But
I
now
guess
that
you
say-
killed. Was he really a god? Because like he was kind of pathetic, so he's probably not really a god, but he sure thought he was a god, right? So like it counts as a god.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
it.
mean, yeah. It was okay. It was a long fight though. Like he just kept coming back with different shit and just like crazy and
Yeah, although the final shape he looked as like the old man almost felt bad, looked a little pathetic, no?
yeah, that one was a bit meh, but you know, it was
Fast as
I don't
fuck
know.
for someone that frail, but anyway.
I'm just glad that it's over, I guess.
I've kind of run
And
out
I'm
of
glad we all made it
words,
through.
but
Ryan doesn't know what that's like.
I just wanted to talk
Yeah.
and kind of let you know that I'm an asshole, and I accept that, you know. And if
We're
you
all
think I'm
assholes every now
asshole
and
and
then,
you never
right?
want to speak to me again, then that is totally fair. If you do, then you're a bit stupid, but I'll gladly take it.
I mean, everyone's an asshole every now and then. Everyone's a bit stupid every now and then, right? Like that's nothing new, right? Like it's
That's
okay.
true.
You're
But this is
a bit stupid every now and then too, I guess, right?
okay. Well, hey, calm down. All right.
We're
Well,
good.
I'll
We're good. Go get some rest as well. You did well. You fought hard. You deserve
yeah,
the rest as
I
well.
will. I got one more place to go. Well, two actually, but I'll probably save one for tomorrow. All right. Sorry for the interruption. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Move over to Anna's door.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's knocking at my Fury?
It's
Dude.
me.
You do realize that we can be sleeping right now?
Well,
Right?
you could be, but then again, you're not anymore because you're talking, so we might as well.
Okay, One
You know?
second, give me a second. She gets out of bed and you hear her like heavy steps 'cause she's tired AF. She opens the door. What's up?
Hey,
Hi.
you up?
I really hope you didn't come here just to say, hey. Because if you did,
Maybe he
I'm going
wanted a
to
cuddle,
punch
you
you
don't know.
so hard.
Well,
So she's like
don't
rubbing her
don't
eyes.
threaten me with a good time, but we
I
say
know
that
it's a
later.
good time, but okay. What is
I
it? What is
just
it?
I've already been to Cole. I've been to Ryan. I'm making the rounds because there's this thing going on, and I don't really understand it. I woke up and I suddenly felt like an asshole, and I basically just wanted to come here and say I abandoned you, and that's fucked up. And if you totally hate me or want to like kick my ass or whatever, then I gladly accept that as punishment. And I want you to know that
Mid talking, she just hugs him.
That's not how you punch. That's not punching.
Well, next time. And it's okay. It's okay. We're both carrying a lot after all of this. She lets go and she's like, you have your ways to carry your load, to carry the frustrations and angers, and you have your ways of letting it out. And I'm
It's
glad
just
that I know.
something, I've taken up the name Fury, right? I've always been a bit of a hothead, but it's like ever since
I
Neri
get it.
died, something changed, and I've
And you
just
see
been,
like a reaction in her when you mention Neri's name
I've just
because
been
she
so furious ever since, and
same.
it's like this burning feeling in my chest that I cannot turn off, and it's always there, and it takes control sometimes, and I've just, I am so angry all the time, and it overwhelms me sometimes, and I just see red, and I don't really know if that feeling will ever go away or if I'm going to have to learn to live with it, but I'm just so angry all the time. Like, this fucking sucks. And but that's partially why I felt it better to leave, because there were times where I was like, I don't even know. I spent a good amount of time away just getting the shit kicked out of me for fun, just to feel something else besides the anger. I just did not know what the fuck to do, and I was like, oh, if I'm gonna go back, and then what happens if I get angry again, and I might lose it on one of them, and I just didn't want to deal with all that. And then fucking Moon Lady, or someone pretending to be her, or some kind of messenger from her, came to visit me, and had the audacity to look like Neri to convince me to come back, and I want to punch something all the time, even now.
Well, don't punch me. I'm still recouping.
Yeah, no, me too.
And she like does a playful punch in his shoulder.
Me and Cole spent some time earlier punching each other for fun. That was good. Let off some steam.
And that's good. I'm glad that you two have that for each other. And she kind of looks down at herself that like she doesn't have that, right? She's away from her people. She's been like this whole time. I feel like Neri's been, or not Neri, sorry. Whoa, Freudian slip. Anna's been trying to make that connection with people, right? And she's been struggling with that. And she felt that with Neri, and like I felt like her and Fury were getting closer, but then when you left, and she says, I was angry when you left. I was furious. I was that. And she, she uses the volcano and, flames, and she's like that. It was just burning inside me, and there was just so much anger, and I wanted just to shake you so hard. But then you came back, and all I felt was joy. And I was glad to see you return and be well. Ish. Because I too, I'm not. I'm well-ish, right? She has that trauma.
I don't think any of us will ever be well after, not just Neri, but after everything we've seen the last X amount of time.
Yeah, and that is what we will carry with ourselves, and one can hope that we can confide in one another, and I think you're taking those steps in doing that. Coming to, my door.
I really don't feel like myself. I just woke up with this like rock in my stomach, and I was like, I need to talk to my friends, because if I don't do it now, I'll never will,
Yeah, and that's a step that you're taking to heal. And that's good. After every fire, life returns, right? Life will inevitably return. And
You consider it like
Ye-
writing books or something? You use a lot of good words. No, good what's the word? Metaphor,
Metaphors?
I think. Yes, that's the one. That was a big word. Holy.
that is a big word. That is a big word. And she, like, I feel like Enna has had those moments of like wisdom, right? To support the group, right? Uh,
Well, if
but
you
things
ever
will-
want to get punched or punch me, let me know. It's really relieving sometimes, you know. I won't go all out, you know, I'll make sure that none of your bones break, but sometimes it's just there's something very relieving about getting your ass kicked a little bit, you know.
a little, she has like a little smirk on her face, and she's like, "I'll remember that. I will remember that." And she
Okay.
puts her hand on his shoulder because I can't remember. Are we about like the same height?
I think so. I think it's it
Mhm.
might it's
Yeah,
maybe
you
like
two are lord.
we're tall. Especially
Ish.
hold on, where the fuck? Fury, I think I put his
I
height
think
on
we're
We're both like
his-
7 feet tall or something like that.
Yeah.
Fury is
Just say you're a big guy. You're a big guy. She's a big lady.
Mhm.
I think I started off as like 6 foot something, but then I think something happened that just made him grow.
Yeah,
like 2
some
inches per
magical
maybe or
thing
some
happened
shit.
that you permanently gained like.
So like, I think I'm like close to 7 feet now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fury will just kind of like doesn't really know exactly what to say. He's ran out of words and just kind of like,
It's okay.
well, I just wanted to, you know, get that off my chest. I'll leave you to it and get some more sleep.
Before
and
you
then
go, how do you
tomorrow-
feel now?
I don't know. My brain is like, you
Yes,
know?
we just fought a guy who thought it was a god. Of course you're going to be drained.
was he not a
But he
god?
will-
I think I'm going to pretend and say to people like that he was a god because it sounds more interesting. That fucked up.
Well, the being that we fought. Yes. Yes.
I think
We're all
part of it
drained.
is- Partially, I'm like, I'm happy you're all alive, and partially, I'm like,
I'm happy
I
you're
really-
alive too.
Really wish Nidhi was there to see it with us. Then I also have this feeling of I could sleep for fucking years, but then on the other hand, I'm like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna be like, wait, now what the fuck do I do? You know, like
Yeah.
I feel all of that at once, and it is, I don't know. I miss it when I didn't really care about what I felt and I just did things off instinct. That'd be a lot easier out about now. But
One
You know-
day at a time, Fury. One day at a time.
anyway, I'll.
And she just puts her hand, on his shoulder, and she gives like a little squeeze. It'll get better.
You say so. And then I'll
I do.
bid her a good night and mosey on out. And,
All right, I'm going back to bed.
I forget.
Mhm.
Neri had like a room here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like walk past the door that was Neri's and just kind of like put my hand on it and just kind of like just stand there without saying anything. Just stand there for a few minutes, just kind of like blankly staring at the ground, and then move on back to my room and go back to sleep.
Surprise, Nessa pops her head out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
That's the last person. That's the last person Fury wants to see.
You're like, no.
No.
So yeah,
Alright.
so just stand there for a few minutes, deep in thought, and then fuck off to bed.
Whatever the moment during the rest that all of you are in the deepest part of your sleep, for the last time you have a shared dream, like vision. You don't necessarily, you all know, even though it's one of those like semi-lucid dream, like you're aware this is a dream, and somehow even in this moment you all know the fellow members of your party are sharing it as well. But it starts off like those other memories you saw of Alyxian, so you're in the Netherdeep, and he is standing in what the city you now recognize as Kael Morrow. You recognize some of the ruined buildings you traverse through before entering the Netherdeep, and you see elves and orcs living in the same city in harmony, and you see people seem to be fleeing, running in terror, and larger than life figure of one of the betrayer gods, who in this moment you know as Grumsh the Ruiner, is striding to the middle of the city with a massive spear in hand, intent on destroying the entire city, as it is an oasis jewel dedicated to a god that he despises during this time of the calamity. And as he goes to bring the spear down in the heart of the city and strike a blow that would wipe it from the map, you see a familiar shield raise up, and an impossibly small shield for the size of this spear, but it catches the blow, and you see Alyxian holding and withstanding, and there is like 3 different colored like divine barriers like boosting his shield and giving him the strength to withstand, and he is withstanding the blow. However, the city does start to, like, the force, it's almost like the city starts to sink into the ground, and you see Alyxian and the city sinking with it. And you see the waters of the oasis starting to mingle with this red energy forming around him, which you recognize now as like the energy of like the beginnings of Ruidium. And this city, this oasis starts to sink further and further underground until eventually there's nothing but rock left. And you see the sands of time. All of a sudden the vision speeds up. The sands of time increase and this place becomes a barren desert you now recognize. And then you see the beginnings of Ank'Harel start to come to fruition. Where Kael Morro once was. And then as you see Ank'Harel, the vista of Ank'Harel, the skyline you recognize, you then see a spirit. You see 3 hands, 3 divine hands reach down into the city and come up, and all 3 hands are cradling that old man worn version of Alyxian you fought at the end, as they seem to be like lifting him upwards to the heavens. And that is the last shared vision of the Apotheon that you will ever have as a group. You wake up feeling refreshed, not entirely, there's still a little bit of you because it was still a lot, but you definitely feel like head and shoulders better than yesterday. While Cole, when you wake up, Question asks if you could gather your friends because she has a proposition for you guys, or she has an idea she wants to pitch to your group.
Raggy.
Questions
Uh-oh.
propositioning us?
Hey.
What? Hello.
Friends, it's time.
Orgy.
Unzip.
Everyone gather around.
Takes off all of her clothes.
You're gonna love
Slash me unzips.
We're getting extra close, y'all.
Slash me starts helicoptering.
We've shared such trauma. I think it's time we share some pleasure.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Overnight,
I did
Cole, did you tell her, like, because she was gonna wait,
Yeah,
she wasn't
tell her
gonna,
everything.
I was like, she wasn't gonna ask you, because she's like, you might want time to decompress, you might just want to, have rest, companionship, but if you offered it, she would have been, like, so, like, she was so eager to hear about what has happened for her 5 weeks, for you guys a matter of days.
Yeah.
What went down in there. Okay, so you did give her at least some version of it. Okay. So as you guys gather in Cole's apartment, because he probably like would have either sent you like a note or had someone come fetch you, like a cobalt soul, like one of the new monks, make them do the grunt work, go do the labor, come get you.
Go collect my friend.
Yep. And promise you're also invited as well. Says, so I got a little bit of the backstory of what happened last night. Cole was telling me about this absolutely terrifying, to be honest, adventure you guys went on down there, and you can see she's like so twitchy, and as though she's like trying to like contain an excitement. She's like, I think what you guys experienced might finally prove my theory that I've been wanting to write a book about for like a decade now. And she's like, she's about to go into like scholar mode for a minute and talk your ear off, and then like stops herself. She's like, well, and you probably don't want to hear about the details. But anyways, I want to write a book, but I kind of want to write one not just about my theory of mythic resonance. I also think what you guys did needs to be known. It needs to be remembered. And it seems like also none of this maybe would have happened if we'd remembered Alyxian as well. So I also kind of would like to like memorialize this story for you guys, but I don't want to write about it without your consent. So I just want to check, would you guys be willing to stick around for a little while and so I could interview you guys and make notes, and I could maybe write this book.
Sitting next to her, I put my arm
It's
around
half
her and
tech,
I say,
half scholarly text, like half essays, but also half memoir, I guess.
Will it have cool drawings of how epic we look?
Oh, I'm gonna illustrate it. And if she pulls out her journal, 'cause remember when you first met her, she sketches, and she has a journal full of sketches. And when you first met her, she had a sketch of the jewel of 3 prayers that you wear. She didn't know what it was. Like, there was that weird synergy already from the beginning.
She's known to be a bit of a drawer.
Yeah, she's like, in fact, I already have some of the ones that I did, like from ages ago that could be relevant now. So trust me, I'm
Totally
gonna
make one of Orion having this sick ass like blades just tearing out
like this,
dying
and it's
god's
really-
throats. That was sick. It was really cool.
I'm sitting next to her. She's like, "Do we have time? Can we stick around?" Blah blah blah. And I put my arm around her, and I'm like, "I don't plan on going anywhere."
she looks all like, it's really like the blush, which on her cheeks turn like a lavender because she has blue skin, right? Just kind of looks at her, like does the awkward like looking at the floor and like kicking her feet and like wiggling her toes for a little bit. She just doesn't know how to deal with PDA with people around. She's like, well, but I kind of meant more for them, but I don't want to. You know what they say when you assume, right? You should never do that.
You better invite us to the wedding.
Well, of course, but the only problem is there's something that might interfere with not my book, not that. Something that might interfere with the book. So
Trying to think of the Freudian slip.
Yeah, the high curator also really wants to talk to you guys, by the way, and tell you about some stuff. But I was talking with him this morning, and he kind of wanted to promote me to we have a rank here called like expositor, and it's kind of like part spy, part diplomat, part lot of things. Anyway, it's very cool and it's very exciting, but I kind of just think I really want to focus on writing this book, and he specifically wanted an expositor who could look into the what's happened to the consortium of the Vermilion Dream, because they're like gone. Like, they've just disappeared, and we don't know where they went, and that's really sketchy. But the Viridium has also gone. Like, the Allegiance of Allsight, their stores of it, it's gone. Anyone who has had the sickness, it's gone. The weapons in the city, like, there are some, like, more black market, it's, like, gone.
I mean, that is because, you know, thingy dead, Viridium disappear.
But see, like, people need to know that, and that's still just like a theory. That's probably the right theory. But anyways, that's like, obviously not many people get that or understand that.
Did you just say that the people who got the Viridium poisoning were gone?
Yeah.
No,
No,
the poison's
Viridium
gone.
gone.
Like, they're fine. They're fine. And it's like people were partying hard last night. They were celebrating. There was like a lot of people that were like on death's door that are just like better now, which is great. It's awesome. So you guys like saved a lot of people, by the way. But anyways, like I was saying, so he wants an expositor specifically to look into that whole situation. A, make sure the Viridium's like really gone, none of it survived. B, figure out what the heck happened to the consortium and like where they've gone to ground and stuff. So I don't want to take the job, but I kind of feel like it'll be easier to tell him that if I can recommend someone else for the job. And she looks at Promise, like raises her shoulders.
Oh. Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I don't know if you had, any aspirations to be an expositor or not. I wasn't sure. So I wanted to ask before I told him that and recommended you. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As long as, there's not too much risk. I'm fine. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely less risky than what you were doing.
Sure. What we just
But
went through.
exactly.
Okay.
Child's play.
Orion like totally killed a god.
That's crazy. That is
Yeah.
insane. But
Now I feel like you're making fun of me, and that's just a bit rude.
Wow, really? Oh my god.
And so
Oh my god.
so for a little while you
cool.
guys have like some breakfast, she starts going into and like talking your ear off a little bit about the scholarly part of her book, because if you remember when you met her, she discussed her whole thing she was fixated on. She has this theory called mythic resonance, which is her belief that acts of monumental courage leave like a physical and spiritual impression on places that can also like linger and affect memory, affect things of other people. Basically, it's like monumental acts of heroism, courage, or things that monumental displays of emotion have physical remains and ramifications. And now she's found out about Alyxian is like the proof of that. And so it's like a scientist who has had a theory that now has tangible evidence. So she's super duper excited.
Wait, but does that also mean that now that we've solved this whole thing and we saved all of these people, that would also leave something?
Yeah. So who knows? So this happened to him like centuries ago, and now we're dealing with it, and you guys like fixed it now. And for all we know, prevented like calamity too. Because like, what if all that ruidium had just been allowed to spread, or what if he'd eventually escaped or something? Like, we don't know.
So,
There's so many
like,
questions.
Who
Haha.
do we like
Haha.
talk to about? Listen, man, I'm going to be upfront, right? And I know this is not really the topic of conversation right now, but I'm going to bring it up, and I'm pretty sure once I bring it up, everyone here is going to be like, "Oh, that's a good point, Fury. You're so smart." We just like totally saved the world.
That's why I want to write about it. People need to know.
But that's a really cool reward. But like, I can barely afford a month's rent, and I would really love to be able to, buy some drinks to celebrate.
Oh,
Get some
well,
therapy.
actually, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about this new project. These came for you, and this might also help for that. They came to the front desk because they knew you guys were staying here. So there's one letter addressed to like your whole party, but there's two letters specifically addressed to Fury, and she hands those to you.
The fuck?
And they have like official. She's like, well, see this one, and see why I said that might help. I recognize these logos, like there's sigils on Fury's letters. Like this one is from the Hands of Ord, and this one is from the Scar Bearers. Which the Hands of Ord are like the local like city guard peacekeepers, but kind of like a bit more of an elevated status than your average city guard, and they're a very well-known organization. And the Scar Bearers are the mercenary org that was the one that put on the tournament that you won. And they're like, yeah, they're one of the highest paid mercenary groups that exist in
They're
Marquet.
like, let us pay you.
I will.
Do you want a job?
Well, should we open up the letter to the entire group first, guys? Smiley face.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
The letter to the entire
Sure.
group is from Maggie, and you see it says, I'm hoping my assumption is correct, but seeing all this craziness going on in the city, and I seem to have miraculously gotten rid of that rash that I got while I was in that weird place with you guys. I feel like you have done something pretty important, and I kind of just got yoinked out of there. I don't really know. I'm very confused. I'd love to chat. I need answers. Sorry for lack of coherence. It's been a time. And that's the letter from Maggie, and it mentions reminds where she's
put
staying.
the letter down and look at the group. I forgot about them. Are we still like cool with her and her friends, or like did I miss something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
We're pretty good, and I pull out the because I'm pretty sure I still have the.
Yeah, you have sending stones to one of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
I put the sending stone.
how
I'm
I
pretty sure
like-
it was to Maggie, right?
I think so.
Or did she
Is,
pass it on to someone?
That
and
cute
I'll,
one still alive, or is he like dead?
Calcariad.
Oh,
Syria, yeah.
One that I was
Last
like
time-
totally flirting with and pissed off all the other people in that group. That was so funny.
last time I checked, I'm pretty sure they were all good. I think.
Nice.
And I'll because it wasn't it also one of the other guys who also was affected by the ruidium. That was the whole thing, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Who was that again?
Irvin
Irvin?
had
Irvin, right?
ruidium
Yeah.
poisoning, and he's
Me?
better now. Yep.
So I'll pull out the sending stone, and I'll be like, "Hey Maggie, how are you doing? We got your letter, and how's Irvin now that the whole thing's over? And do you want to meet up?"
Yeah. Yes, please.
This
Here
number is about to
we'll come to you guys. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of people that want to talk to you today, so trekking across the city might be a big drain on your time.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the Cobalt Soul right now, so, you know,
Can we
I
not
think we
meet at the
also have
nearest
another
pub
meeting
or something?
planned.
Yeah, she's just gonna pick the nearest pub to the Cobalt Soul and say, "We'll meet you there."
Alright, so,
God.
alright, seems good. We'll see you later
God
today
bless.
then.
I don't know about you guys, but before I even open up these letters addressed to me, if any of these people are like, "Oh, please come work for us," I'm not doing shit for at least a month. That's fair,
That's
We need a vacation.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We need a vacation.
Just to be clear.
for sure.
And I'll open up the letter of the eeny, meeny, miny, mo Scar Bears first.
All right.
Fuck it.
It says, "To our esteemed Victor, you put on quite a show in our recent tournament. Even managed to turn it into a sponsorship of sorts with a local blacksmith we saw. Very impressive. A rising star such as yourself deserves to be aligned with the best, in our humble opinion. Should you be looking for further opportunities to flex your prowess, the Scar Bearers would like to offer you a position in our guild. You'd be part of an illustrious heritage, occupy an honorable position in Marquesian society, and have first pick of our most high-profile jobs. And, of course, you'd be welcome to defend your title at our tournament annually. We eagerly await your response." And it's signed Quartermaster Kruglin.
I shall put that one in my bag. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, but for now they can go fuck themselves. And I'll open up the other one.
The other one is addressed to Fury of the StormWeavers. "Your display in the Bowl of Judgment was quite remarkable, but we've heard through our monastic friends it pales in comparison to some of the other things you have faced and feats you have performed for our city. We would like to offer you a position with the Hands of Ord. If you want to continue helping our fair city, you might as well get recognized for your efforts instead of working in secret. We know your party has been staying at the Cobalt Soul. However, if you would like a more comfortable home rather than just apartments, along with access to superb quality weapons and armor, those are some of the many perks that come with this job offer. If you're open to a discussion, please come meet with me at the Ord Bastion in the Sand Herald District. I will make myself available." And it is signed by Ironhand Sem.
Okay, so I've got like two groups really wanting to pay me because I'm really good at what I do. So, like, how does this work? If you have two potential employers that are like, they really want you, surely I can, like, get them to pay me more because I can hang it over their head that, like, their competitors are also trying to poach me, right? Is that how that works? Can I?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's something I
Yeah.
can do, right?
You could also like determine if either of them aligns with you idealistically or anything.
No, I
What's
would
that?
just go for the biggest bang for your buck.
That's what I'm thinking.
So you
I
can
just-
stay here in Ankarel.
I don't
or
know. If
you
I
Think of the
can-
job security.
Yeah, but the thing is, I
You
don't
could
know
be a
what I wanna
cop.
do.
You gonna be a cop?
I don't like
Hey,
being
Cap.
tied to one place. Last time I was tied to a place for too long, it was in fucking Vasselheim, and they all hated me because I'm devil spawn.
But no
Or
one...
whatever.
Question goes, can say from experience, there isn't that kind of anti-tiefling vibe here.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never
but I
had
get
that
really
problem.
antsy. I get really antsy if I'm in a place for too long, you know?
I mean, I'm sure they'll allow you to take, like, you know, you get some maybe paid vacation. Maybe you can
PTO
barter
and-
for paid vacation, and then you can take that time to, like, travel and go other places for a bit every year, and then come back.
Find out
Okay.
the
Question?
benefits package and like
Yeah.
Okay.
stock
You are
options.
all a lot smarter than me. Given that I know Question is not going anywhere because she's basically tied down to the city, she couldn't leave it if she tried, and that means, you know, Cole, you're also.
Hey, you
probably
met me
the
in
same person.
Bazazan.
Well,
I left the city.
Literally.
Well, but like you're not, you know, you've got a lot of things to do. You want to write your book, and you know, whatever. Anyway, what if once I'm ready to make up my mind, because you guys are a lot smarter than me, whatever, a lot better with words, know a lot more words. But I like, could you like come with me as like, you know, my negotiator or something? Leo,
Consigliere. I got you.
what is that word?
What is that word?
Is that like that's not giant? That's not.
That's
infernal,
like-
Is that like?
that's like,
what type of language
the-
is that?
Like your personal lawyer. Stuff like that.
Oh.
Like I
Okay.
go through your papers and make sure everything's good and all that.
I don't have any papers.
You will if you take a job.
Oh, that sounds boring. Well, we'll have time to figure this out. I'm not intending on.
Hey. And here's the thing: you can accept one of these offers and then change your mind in a year, because you're not tied down forever.
Is that something I can do?
I mean, yeah, you could.
Why not?
You don't have to pick
right?
permanently. Like when you barter for whatever, when you're negotiating your first contract, you just say, "Hey, I only want my first contract to be for like a year," and then it ends, then we renegotiate, because that's also how you get like raises and stuff. Because then you can ask for more money.
Everybody that has like a full-time job so miserable all the time.
Because they picked the wrong ones.
They picked the wrong ones. I feel like beating stuff up is something that you enjoy doing. I don't think you're gonna get tired of doing that.
No, I'm not.
Right. So maybe, I mean, for my 2 coppers, maybe not being a cop would be a good idea.
Yeah, being a cop.
If you don't like being tied down, then I guess the Scar Bearer is probably better, because a lot of their jobs are like, oh, you have to be personal bodyguard or escort this very high profile person across places, so you like go more places.
Different every time.
But then you still come back here, like you have a base, and you could come visit, and you can come over for like dinner and stuff. But then you go do things.
I'll like barge into their place later today and just tell them, hey man, read your letter, really nice. But I just like totally like helped kill a god or whatever, so I'm going to take a few months of vacation before I make up my mind. That cool? And then I'll just leave, you know? Is that something I can do? I should do, you think? Let them know that I like read it and I'm interested.
We'll workshop that. We'll workshop.
We'll figure it out.
What part do we workshop?
You don't have to decide right now.
Yeah.
You have time.
In fact, you shouldn't make impulse decisions. That's how you usually make bad ones.
Exactly.
You should think on it.
Yep.
Yeah, last time I did that, I left everyone behind. So that's
Remember how that
Yeah.
went? Yeah.
You remember how that went?
Hey, guys.
I did Neri dodge.
We talked. Oh,
Shut up. How dare you?
I just fucking turn to Cole and just go for a good old like pretend to like swing for his chest, and then last minute do a fucking like crouch down and just like bolt tap.
Good one.
All right.
Anyway, drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the interest of time, because I'm rapidly running out of time. You go meet up with Maggie, and basically, unless there's any like super burning questions you guys specifically want to ask them, I can give you kind of like the gist of like what they let you know, what they've decided, or their like emotional state. Like, what is there anything specifically you want to chat about any of them with? Because Maggie has the whole group with her when you go meet her, the whole co.
I would like to know how Irvin is doing.
Yeah, Irvin's a lot better. He looks like they're all just like having like a drink. He's ordered like the entire menu. Cause remember you met him at like a pie eating contest. He seems to be almost back to like his full glutton, like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo vibes. And he is like,
nice.
Oh, I'm not sick anymore. And he is just living his best fucking life. Like you almost have to like snap your fingers at while you're trying to be like, hey. And like he almost like zones out. He's just sitting there living his best life and forgets to like check in on the conversation sometimes. But as you talk with them and figure out that obviously it was like Moonweaver divine intervention, how Maggie got yoinked out and replaced with Fury, and why. So she seems much more relieved and at peace knowing, because that was her big question, is like, what the fuck happened? Like, what got me out of there? So she appreciates that. The general consensus, the decisions they've made, Maggie is also like, you know what, that was a lot for me. I'm out. I was only doing this adventuring thing to protect some of my friends, but only like 1 or 2 of them are really still interested in that lifestyle. So she's gonna settle down also in Ankarel, retire, and she's gonna become a poet. She decided she feels like, because you guys validated that other part of her, saw her as more than like big lady, and she's like, I can be multifaceted, I can do things, and she wants to try and become also like becoming aspiring authors, but specifically she wants to write poetry. And
I'd like to think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'd just like to think that throughout all of this in the backdrop that Fury and Promise are fighting over flirting with Io.
Fury was flirting with Galceriad before. I don't know if he's flirting with Io. You can flirt with Io all you want.
I think
I thought he was just flirting with everyone.
No, he was specifically flirting with Galceriad because Io and Irvin had crushes on
Because
Galceriad
that's
and were like
yeah.
competing.
Right.
Yeah,
Fury wasn't even flirting with him
because he
wanted
liked him.
to.
He was being a dick.
It was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh wait,
Just causing
he's more
trouble.
interested in me than the other two that are overly interested in me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
fucking
do pick
this.
on just passive perceptions enough the vibes. I mean, you see only Irvin because a few times he does kind of like look over. Other than if you're directly talking to him, he like attention is taken from his food. Is to talk to or react to something Galceriad has said. So
Yeah, I mean, what's
his
the
feelings are still there. You'll notice though Io seems much less wrapped up. Like her feelings seem to have dissipated. She's not territorial about that. She's not competitive anymore. She doesn't
this
her
is
body
also-
language isn't like trying to be flirty with him at all anymore. She's over it.
Yeah, Fury also doesn't really
Perfect.
like it's a lot of shit happens, so Fury like stops that. Like,
Yeah,
challenge
which
that
also
stuff.
keeps the
Okay.
peace.
Fury's
It makes it
often
just a fun banter place. So Galceriad has joined the Allegiance of Allsight, which is the more like even more academic, so like the university for all the magic users. Because his whole thing is he wants to match wits with an archmage as one of his like lifelong goals, and like do things and like create a spell, do things with magic, like push the boundaries of the arcane. So he's gonna he's enrolled there. He's like both a teacher in lower level magics, but he's also then a student. Like it's like he's doing his PhD and being a TA kind of at the same time. Like the vibes of what he's doing there. And Irvin claims that he's earned some time off. He wants to do like an eat, pray, love situation across Marquet and just like vibe. But also those of you with good passive perception, you can tell he's also sticking around because he does still have the hots for Galceriad, and he still thinks there's a chance that there's a shot for that.
Understandable.
Io does still give the vibe like obviously I don't regret my decision to step back and like this is your adventure. Like clearly you guys were meant to do this and you succeeded, but I still think like my adventure's still waiting for me. Like my story on this level is out there somewhere and I'm gonna find it. So she is still intent on doing the adventuring life, but she's also gonna traverse the continent because she's never been to Marquet before, and Dermot is gonna go with her because he still thinks she needs someone looking after her and watching her back.
That's sweet.
Yep.
I love Dermot so much.
Yep.
Dermot.
And while you are all having this banter, having this thing, you also just get like a messenger, an envoy comes from a letter from the High Curator saying, "Hey, I know Question told you I wanted to meet with you, but I've chatted with her. I think I've got everything I need for now, and I hear you're staying in the city. So if I need to talk to you, I know where to find you." And it encloses it says and then like PS we've set aside a little something for you for saving our city. Come see me when you can. So there's going to be a monetary reward. So let me know what the next few weeks specifically look like for each of you before I leave you with our final wrap up here. So start with Orion. What do the next few weeks look like for you? What do you do?
Next few weeks.
Or maybe no, next few months, we'll say. Like the next
Next few
like 4 to 6 months. What is Orion doing, or what are his goals? What are his plans?
I don't know. I don't really know about the next 4 to 6 months. Like I do know what he would do after that period.
Okay. Well, what does he want to do?
So he'll stick around in the city a bit longer, just to make sure that everything, you know, is worked out. He eventually wants to start traveling a little bit on his own with just Fred. For a while.
I'll say also because Io and Dermot will have given any of you guys an open invite to join them on their travels, but they also completely understand if you want either time off or you want to stick together or do whatever. But there's also an open invite for anyone with them.
Right. No, Orion would travel on his own for a bit because, like, he loves his friends, but he also wants to like experience this whole adventuring thing on his own as well a little bit. Eventually, though, he'll meet up with Fury again and go on a little bit of an adventure with him. And that kind of pulls him into an entirely different adventure where he gets pulled into a different dimension.
Oh, is that what your other campaign you're playing him in? Like, this is how it connects you to that?
Yep. He loses a bunch of his power and ends up in the vicinity of Neverwinter, where he meets a new group of
He shows up
adventurers.
in the Eva Vecna campaign.
And where he has to eventually face off against Vecna.
Damn.
That's what I'm guessing.
Nice. Well,
That's
there may or may not be something that happens in between now and then, depending on where we wrap it. But
like
that's his eventual
like
where he ends up. But
yeah, this is like a couple years later, basically.
Yeah, got you. All right. Promise. Does Promise take this expositor position and dedicate, at least in the beginning, investigating the remnants or where the consortium has gone to?
Yeah, so Promise will do like all of her cursory investigations that can be done just in Ank'Harel herself. And then she's gonna, part of the flirting with Io, she's gonna be trying to like kind of network and be like, hey, so you're traveling around anyway. If you want to try and find some.
Well,
like,
Io eventually plans to go to Drusar because she's heard of this city that's just like all these different spires. You need to take these like aerial like cable car vibes to get between. Like, it sounds fascinating to her. And then you find also traces that maybe the consortium has escaped to Drusar, so you can accompany Io and Dermot maybe investigating the consortium. You can head over there.
Yeah, and she'll do a bit of delegating too. She wants to kind of chill and lay a little lower. She used a lot of her paladin abilities that she didn't necessarily want to on the adventure. So she's like kind of trying to lay low again, and make sure that she like is not on anyone's radar. Maybe like fortify the enchantment on her amulet of non-detection or all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I think she does a fair bit of delegating for the stuff that's outside of Marquet. If Io and Dermot and whoever else in the group are up for it. But she very much goes nose in the books unless it's something that's in Marquet.
Cool.
But yeah.
Enna, what would you be up to, or what do you think she'd desire to do for the next 6-ish months or so?
I think for the next 6-ish months, she's going to be reaching out to the Cobalt Soul to see if there's any research about the Feywild. Of how she can try and reconnect with her plane. But during that time, you know, she's starting to grow roots, so to speak. Here, you know, she's developed friendships with the whole group, right? And she sees them as family, as a family that she never really had.
And you know, at least a handful of them will be staying in the city. So
exactly. But she also yearns to return home. She wants to see her brethren. She's also driven to find, you know, the reason why she's here.
Why she was kicked in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Question also knows that, and you asked on the Cobalt Soul, so they did have some people like helping you search the archives. Maybe a few months in, you get the news. One of them found an almost forgotten book of Fey prophecies that people have gone to the Feywild and come back, have collected from oracles like fortune tellers, soothsayers over there, and there was a prophecy specifically of a Furbolg from the Fey who would cure a land of a great evil yet to show itself. And then by this point, Questions probably like published her book. People started to read. So people know a bit of your story, and they know about the risk that, if left unchecked, Ruidium and Alyxian could have posed to Marquet, but it was unexposed. Like this whole risk was before you guys got here. So this Cobalt Soul monk highly believes that prophecy was referring to you. And you know the person who kicked you from your home was a magic user who was part of a court who employs a wide range of fortune tellers and soothsayers. So maybe your best guess is they heard the same prophecy, saw you as a threat to them because they thought it was their land in the Feywild, an evil yet to show itself, and they had plans for future evil plans that they wanted to be kept secret, and you were a risk to that. So that's your leading theory for why you were kicked out of your home.
You mentioning the soothsayers and like the fortune tellers in the store. I still have Neri's tarot deck, and that was something that she held on to when Neri passed. And every day she pulls a card, just to help guide her through the day.
Oh,
Kind of like an
love
oracle
that.
deck, just as a way to keep her connected in a sense to Neri. And she's like pulling like that day she pulls something of the equivalent of the Fool.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad card. The Fool is not a bad card. It's like new beginnings, right? Of just jumping in and taking that leap.
And you would
So-
know that that's Neri's mom's.
Yes. And that's why she holds it so dear, and she protects it. Like that's become one of her like prized possessions, that she
Yep.
doesn't want anything to happen to that.
After Question's book gets published, Neri's grave site, like her tomb, because it's in the city, also becomes a bit of a place of like visitation, not like tourist attraction, but like if you guys go and visit every so often, you'll notice like people are leaving things like flowers, gifts, or like tributes to the Moonweaver, and it's definitely more than it could just be your party members. You think in telling her story and how it was linked to you and how she helped you guys get to as far as you did, that she also has a bit of a fan base, or people know of what she did and people want to pay their respects because she also was a part of saving your city. And you guys, once the book comes out, if you're in Marquet, mostly on Corel, but sometimes other places, you also occasionally will get like stopped, and people will either thank you or like give you like gifts. Like sometimes you'll get like homemade baked goods or like little gifts. Sometimes one time like a kid will stop you and that they've drawn your party and they've made a little drawing for you guys because they're like, oh, we thanks for doing what you did. Or it's like their dad
Fan art?
like, yeah, you get fan art from children
Fan
because their
art?
parents had the red sickness and they thought they were going to lose their parents and they survived, and they know it's thanks to you guys. Fury, which of your job offers do you end up accepting? Or do you try and play one against the other? Or do you say fuck
He
them?
plays
Fuck
one
both
against the
of
other,
them?
and then they both say, never mind.
You're like,
fun-
it's fine.
The funny thing is, like, I had some like, oh, this is probably what he'll do type situation, and then that changed based off of like the stuff that he talked about, like the reaction he got from Cole, Orion, and Anna. So he will think about the job offers for a while, but for the first few months, he just kind of keeps close to his friends in like this like weird, not weird, but this like vow of like, I'm not abandoning these guys again. Just make sure that like,
Oh,
taps in, make sure that like he's there, and he'll like once a week visit Neri's grave and just kind of sits there for a while and just like talks like, oh, this is my week, how have you been, huh? Like that.
yeah.
And eventually he'll basically just kind of decide not to accept any of the job offers because
Nice.
he feels like whatever adventure he's going to go on, if it's not with these people, it's not going to be worth it. He's like, what's the point? Like, it's just going to be me. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And instead, what he'll do is every time his friends are like, oh, making a trip there, oh, I want to go there, Fury will be the first to be like, hey, come with you.
Yeah.
And basically kind of fills his days that way. So Cole ever gets the itch and is like, oh, dude, I need to get out and go on a trip to this and this place and just see, just a little vacation or whatever. Fury will be the first one. I'm like, hey, man, I'll be there. Same with Orion, right? If Orion ever just feels like I want to do some adventuring, or I got this quest or whatever the fuck it is, Fury will always offer his help. And with Enna as well, like if Enna has ever like, talk about, wanted to return to the Feywild, figuring out what the hell happened, or Anna wants to see more places of this plane of existence that she's never been to, and like wants to learn more.
Yeah.
Fury will be the first to offer like, hey, I'll go with you, and that's basically, instead of traveling as a mercenary for money, he'll just travel with the people he cares about.
Yeah, you would have been given a hefty sum by the Cobalt Soul. Like, it would have been enough to give you at least a year of living comfortably in Ank'Harel, and that was per each of you. So you have also time. You don't have to immediately be like, how am I going to support myself?
He'll probably just like not tie himself down. Like,
yeah.
If anything, he'll just find a way to make money.
Yeah.
Like, he's never had a set job, and he's been pretty fine.
Yeah.
So
Cole,
Instead
Fury's
of-
like,
instead
if
of
Cole
calling
ever does
us
get
for
the
money,
itch.
he's just like, dude, if any of the gang want to travel or need to go somewhere or need someone to protect them when they do stuff, he's there, basically, and that's how he fills his days.
Amazing.
Weeks, months.
Well, so Cole, did you ever get the itch, or do you stay comfortably in the city? What's the next 6 months look like for you?
Not so much an itch. I think after a bit of downtime, just not adventuring for a little bit, he decides that he wants to, I'm not sure exactly how much awareness or anything there is in Ank'Harel of the Stormlord, but kind of spreading the word in a cool way and not in a pushy way.
There's definitely like some presence, but it's not like a dominant one, and maybe you help maybe like make it a little more equal footing with some of the other deities that are more prominent in the city, or worship of those is more prominent in the city and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely do some work with them, help question with her book, like with fact checking and just kind of helping describe some of the stuff that was going on and all that stuff, so that you get as accurate as possible. And mostly spending a lot of time with them, sparring with Fury as often as we need to. Checking in on everyone else, with whatever they need.
And of course, like the first few weeks, Question would have been taking a lot of your guys' time, like doing very exhaustive interviews and like taking copious notes.
Exhaustive interviews is what we call it nowadays. Huh?
Yep.
That's crazy.
She's definitely gonna need a lot of And after 6 months of this, it comes pretty clear that I'd like to think Cole and Question are getting pretty serious at that point.
Yeah.
And I'd say we move in together and start trying to build a life.
Get a
together,
place.
We get a place.
All right. So the reason
her book is published, I help promote that, and just basically I become a full support friend.
You become the trophy husband.
I become the trophy husband and the trophy friend for all my friends, and I'm just out here helping where I can and
getting fat. Fuck it, you end it.
So the reason I asked 6 months, I didn't just say, what's the rest of your life look like? So again, like the foreseeable future, but you do, like I said, you keep in touch and you make sure to come back to each other periodically for those that aren't like rooted to the city or kind of thing. And you're having somewhere around a 6 month-ish maybe mark after all this, you guys have reconvened in the city to talk about what's been going on lately. People like Orion or Fury, if you've gone out and done anything. Promise can tell you, of course, if you keep it hush-hush, maybe what she's found out about the consortium. Anna can tell you how the research into getting home to the Feywild has been going. And as you're sitting there gathering producers, and ironically, it's as Anna's talking about her updates with the Feywild and like the newest lead on getting her back there, and that someone from the Cobalt Soul got help from a member of the Allegiance of Allsight who knows magic that's good for communicating across planes, and they've been trying to get messages to people in the Feywild that you might have known, and people like that might be open to receiving that kind of message. And as you're telling them this, a creature that you definitely have not seen in Ank'Harel, it is not a creature type come here. So you all everyone in the whole tavern kind of stops and does a double take. Let alone you guys. You see a Harengon run in with like a messenger bag and kind of like an official like livery, like noble livery on, like they serve a noble house or something, very ornate. But yeah, Harengon are like bipedal rabbit people. Like think tabaxi, but rabbit instead of cat.
Cute as fuck.
Yeah, bunny humanoids.
Yay.
Which Anna knows those are native to the Feywild. That race. That is where they come from. He looks at the Travis and goes, "Oh goodness, I finally found you. That took a while. This is a big place, isn't it?" And kind of like sits down, takes off his messenger bag, sits in an empty chair. He's like, "Can I have a sip of that? It's dry here." Like grabs like a drink from Anna and just like takes a sip of his parched throat. Like, oh god. Oh, I needed that. Thanks. Anyways, delivery. This is for you. And takes out a letter from his bag, which has very, very ornate, elaborate stationery, faint scent of lavender. Hands it to Enna, and it's like, then like bounces. It's like, all right, well, next stop, more deliveries. Much to do, many planes to see. Thank you. Good day, and like hops out and like in and out of it, and also very almost like Orion's energy reminiscent. This thing moves fast, it talks fast. It came in whirlwind, hello, like took a drink, gave the thing left. Like you almost have barely processed what just happened, and he is gone, and you're all just like, what, huh? And Enna, there is a lavender envelope sitting in front of you with a very elaborate seal on it.
Okay, I try and like comprehend what just happened. I take the envelope and I open it.
As you open it, you see it is a wedding invitation. And it says, "You are hereby cordially invited to the wedding between Lysandria Isilianthe and Maximilian Darlington. We would be delighted if you join us to celebrate our special day as we exchange wedding vows and receive Celine's blessing." And then there's more info about like dinner, whatever itinerary, but then handwritten over top of that in the corner is familiar handwriting to you. And it says, "I know we haven't spoken in years, but please come to this wedding. I need your help. Signed, Liz." And you remember that when you were younger, there was a little girl named Lysandria, or Lys, that you saved from a wildfire back in the Feywild many, many, many years ago. And it seems that someone reaching out, trying to find people you may have connected to, seems to have found someone and made a connection to someone over there that Enna knows. And that's where we will leave this adventure and give you the chance to reunite again if you want to for another time.
Yeah. Fury wants to go to a cool wedding.
AKA, I hooked it to the miniseries I want
Wedding
to
episode?
run. Ha ha ha. I'm so
Who
wants to go to
smart.
a wedding
Big
with me?
brain.
Gotta go clothes shopping first.
I was like, wait a minute. I have a whole miniseries about wedding in the Feywild. Enna wants to get back to the Feywild. Also, Enna, so on top of this letter, well, or say with this letter, once you've read it, because it felt really heavy, stumbles out a disc. And this disc, there's little instructions on the back. It is a disc that is a pocket portal to the Feywild.
Yo.
Pokeball Smash takes you place, basically.
Nice.
I've
And
seen
it's a
those
one
items
use.
before.
It's
a
a
one-use
it is a
item.
one-use item.
Okay.
It's also
All
it's,
right.
it's also it's a one-way trip.
One-way trip.
Yeah, it's true.
So that is
Sure.
where
Oh,
we
well.
will wrap the story of the StormWeavers, their creation, and their search for Alyxian. And who knows, maybe they will return and go to a wedding. In the
We're
Feywild.
going to a
Party.
wedding. We're going to a wedding.
There you go.
We're going to
37
a
sessions, almost 3 years. You found and have illuminated the history of an incredibly important figure of the Calamity who saved the world and no one knew, but so you're avoiding his mistake. This time you saved the world, but thanks to questioning your efforts, people will know. And the Stormweavers will not be forgotten.
And question fucking yaps. Should make sure no one forgets.
So yes,
Yes.
big
Leave it
thank
there.
you to my players. This is my first thing DMing ever other than one shots. This is the first campaign I ever GM'd. I was very nervous. I already know things that I have my notes of where I could improve, but I still think it went pretty
did
well.
great.
I had a good
did
time, and I
great.
hope y'all
You
did
did
too.
It was fun.
Yeah, obviously
Absolutely.
I had to step out for a bit because
Yeah.
life just got
Life
way too
life
busy
did the
for me
life
to
in,
be
you
able
know?
to juggle all of this. But I was I'm happy I was able to like slip back in for the fans.
Same.
Yeah,
I would have been really sad to end it without you getting to reunite. Because I'm like, you started it with us, but goddamn, you're finishing it with us.
Life got hectic, but I came back. But no, this was awesome. This story was cool as fuck. I feel like everyone's characters worked really well, and they were all really cool and awesome, and I wish they were real.
Aw.
So
What do you mean they
This
are
is
real?
they're real to me.
Real to me.
This was dope, and I'm super down to revisit these characters for a little wedding.
Say, you can bring them back for a Pride and Prejudice Jane Austen themed wedding adventure in the Feywild.
Oh yeah, dude.
Cosplay's
I'm down.
mandatory? No, I'm kidding.
Well,
But I'll whip out the suit that I.
Fans
wore
like,
to
joke's
the
on you.
wedding.
I'll be in cosplay, but you'll never know.
you never know.
You'll never
I'll
know.
whip out the suit that I wore to your wedding, Laura.
Hey, do it. Let's go. All right, so yes, if you've been watching, whether live right now or if you watch us on YouTube, because there's like almost 2,000 views on our playlist of this thing. Yeah. Thank you for being
Yeah.
here with us, taking this ride with us. I hope you had a good time. We'll be back in some other. I also plan on now learning, and I'm gonna run some Daggerheart games soon.
Let's go.
Hopefully, that's the plan.
Let's go.
That shit
So-
looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, we'll be around. This is not the last you've seen of any of us doing TTRPG things. Just the end of this story. And thanks for riding to the end with us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.